Okay, it is vlog number 5 out of possible 6 days that I said I was going to be doing my vlogging. So I'm doing pretty well as far as that's concerned. I didn't have a chance to be able to work more on tutorials and things today. I had a lot of stuff going on and I didn't get a chance to make any improvements, so I can't imagine this one's going to be any better than the one yesterday. But I'm vlogging and that's what's important, and I know that the first ones are going to be terrible and I'll get better as time goes on. So anyways, it's cold here in Milwaukee. It's been cold now for a week with temperatures under freezing. And quite honestly, it's a good thing because that's what our yearly environment is here. Is that normally when I was a kid growing up and in the past, we would have very cold winters with snow on the ground, and then the spring would come and that would all go away. But in the last, 8 to 10 years, things have changed so dramatically in my area of the world in Wisconsin, where the winters have become very, very mild, and we'll get a snowstorm every here or there, but primarily temperatures are way above freezing, and it's been very nice in one way because I hate the cold, but it's also disconcerting and unusual and a little, and it doesn't portend well. So it's nice to get a little bit of cold weather, I guess, although it makes me want to just stay inside and sleep on the sofa. Anyways, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Nikon ZF. And this is my Nikon ZF, and I picked it up, I don't know, about 8 months or 9 months ago, and I got the small rig grip that they were talking about. I got that, and I also have on it my Voigtlander 50mm f1 lens, which is an expensive lens. I think it goes for like close to $1,900. So it's almost the price of the ZF, but it is such an amazing lens. It can be shot wide open, it can be shot stop down. It is an absolutely beautiful rendering lens, and I love it so much. And I try and use it as much as I can, but I've got a whole host of other lenses. And 50mm was never my favorite on the street. It was always good for portraits, but it was not necessarily very good for much street portraits, but not much more than that because it's a little tight. I think my area that I like is like 35 to 40 millimeters. I shot with a 28mm focal range for a while because I had bought a Leica Q2, and I really started shooting 28mm because that's a fixed 28mm lens on there, and that was great. I think it's wonderful for street stuff, and I'm not afraid to get in the mix and get up close to people, so I didn't find it to be too intrusive. But I got tired after 2 years with Leica Q2 with that focal length. And I had another camera. I had a D850, but didn't use it much when I had my Leica because it pretty much did everything I needed it to. And then I went to the GFX medium format series, which I took along with me on a trip out west, and did quite a few lenses for that whole system, which I could talk about at length, but I'm not going to. But what I found was then I shifted and went up to the top of the Nikon series with the Z8 and Z9. And now I'm looking back for a used Z8. But in the meantime, I'm waiting on my Leica to show up, my M8.2 black paint Leica, which is coming from Sweden, that I bought, but still have no idea when it's going to be here. And then I'm going to have my ZF, and these are going to be my 2 cameras that I'm going to be using for still work. And the ZF I'll also be using for videography as well. But I'm loving this DJI Osmo 3. It's really great. It's really terrific. It does a lot of great things, way more than I know how to do, so it's really good that way. And I know the ZF is a very, very capable video camera. Haven't used it for that yet. I've got additional mics, I've got additional transmitter, so I can use this as well. So that's pretty cool. And so I will be at times utilizing this one as well as the DJI Osmo. But what I love about this camera is that it is all metal and it feels like a very substantial lens in my hand. And I think that's what I loved about the old Pro grips. Not necessarily the vertical grip as much as I liked how substantial they feel. And this feels really substantial. And I started in photography late in life. I didn't start shooting until I was in my 40s. So I never did film work. I never had film cameras. Everybody says this is a copy of the Nikon F or FM or F2 series, whatever, the FM2 or whatever it was. I don't know. I've seen them side to side. I can see the similarities. I love having dials for everything. I love the solid feel of this, and then it's really well waterproof from what I understand. But I just like it. I love the colors it renders. It's got a great little switch here that I can flip and put it on black and white. So it can go from video to camera with the utilization of the full color sensor. And then I can shoot it into black and white and then choose different profiles with it. So, but obviously when the image is raw coming out of the camera, doesn't matter if I shoot it in black and white or color, it's going to come out in color. But with the black and white, I'm now shooting JPEGs and I'm shooting RAW, which I haven't done for a long time just to save space on my cards. But I'm shooting them both now because I can also choose to use those JPEGs as well with the in-body preloaded settings that they have, which I've been doing, and I really, really like them. I really think that they really have a lot going for them. I like playing with them in Lightroom and also in Luminar Neo. I haven't done much of them. I just got Topaz, which I've been working with for a while, but I haven't gotten into utilizing or trying to work on black and whites in Topaz. I've been using Topaz pretty exclusively for just the noise reduction capabilities. And quite honestly, I'm not sure that Topaz Photo AI is any better at denoising and sharpening than Luminar Neo or Lightroom now. Lightroom's gotten pretty capable. I'm really surprised at how capable it's gotten, and Luminar Neo does a wonderful job between those two, and they don't mess with my black and whites, and I can adjust those easily in that software. So that's what I've been doing with this. It's become my go-to camera. There's a lot it doesn't have on here. Like, this is not going to be something you're going to take out and shoot wildlife, because it only runs up to 8,000, I think, is the top end of this thing as far as frames per second, and it's not really all that great. It's following my... Back on me. Hello. Back on me. Hold on a second here. There again, there it's on me again, I think. Let's see. Detect moving face. Yeah, there we go. Face track enable. I had to turn this off and turn it back on again. I kept waving the ZF in front of it. But in any case, been happy with the ZF. If there's a lot it can't do, it's not going to be a great wildlife camera. It's not going to be a great sports action camera. It could probably hold its own for very limited uses for sports and things like that. But it's not the one camera that you're going to want to take out in the field if you're doing a lot of birding or a lot of wildlife or that sort of thing, where you need those megapixels and you need that all the power that the Z9 and Z8 bring to the game. This won't do it for you, but for what I do, which is portraits and street stuff and even landscapes, this is fine for. I can do a panorama with this and stitch it together. It looks great. I love the colors that come out of the ZF. I love the way that it feels. I love the manual focus on this thing is terrific. This and this Voigtlander f1.0, the 50 millimeter, is a killer combination. And with the manual focus capabilities of the ZF, it is a dynamite combination, which I'm really loving. I have a lot of images, and I'm going to try and throw a few up here so that you can take a look at it and see it. But other than that, that's what I wanted to talk about, was just the ZF. I'm really enjoying it for what it is. I'm not going to be expecting to do things it can't do. I probably at some point I'm going to be getting, like I said yesterday, I'm going to be getting a Z8, like a refurbished or used Z8, so I can have something for when I need that kind of power, those megapixels, and all that comes with that as far as autofocus and everything. But for what I do, I don't really need it right now, and I don't feel hard pressed to run out and get one. I am so excited. I'm waiting on my Leica M8.2. Now, this is the first Leica rangefinder that has that is digital, and so it's like 14 years old now. And the 8.2, I think, is a little bit younger because there are some enhancements that the 8.2 has that the M8 doesn't have. I can't tell you about that. I do know that it's a little bit more finished as far as a camera goes. But I have seen so many stills from the Leica M8, and that sensor is just really incredible. So I'm really looking forward to being able to carry around that M8 II along with my ZF with a small lens and do the things I want to do. And I see some real good applications for that Leica. I absolutely love Leica. And it's not because I give a shit about the Leica name. I could care less. But I loved my Q2. It felt so substantial in my hands. It was such a beautiful camera. And the colors, the files that came out of it were absolutely gorgeous. And it was just such a great camera. The autofocus was kind of shit on it. It only had contrast detection. And I know now the Q3 has phase detection and contrast detection. And it's 60 megapixels, so you're going to have even more resolution on it. I did buy the Q3 43, and I took it with me to Ireland and used it for a month and loved it, but didn't feel like I could really afford it at the time. So I ended up returning it, and now I'm waiting on the M8. I did have a Leica M10R a couple of years ago that I used for a while, and I really, really liked that, but was not comfortable with a rangefinder patch on it. I was having a difficulty at dusk and at dawn focusing properly with it. It was really a challenge for me that way. So yeah, the M8.2 I'm going to be able to utilize on my leisure when I can. And I feel a lot, now that I've been doing manual focusing with the ZF for so long, and I had the Q3 43 that I was doing a lot of manual focusing with, I feel much more comfortable and capable with that. So this is going to be a whole new deal for me. I love the feel of Leicas. They're the quality cameras. They do great things. They're not for everybody. I'm certainly not a Leica snob. I don't need to walk around with a Leica to feel better about myself. I'm not rich. I am a very, very middle-class person. So it's not about status for me. It's about functionality. And that really is what makes Leica, I think, such a neat camera to have, is because of what it does and the quality that it brings to the game. So I'm as comfortable with rangefinders as I am with regular EVFs, and so that's not going to be an issue or problem. I can switch in between those really quickly. Oh, but I'm looking forward to it. I hope it comes. I ordered it before Christmas, and it's coming from Switzerland, and it's taking its sweet time. And and I've reached out to the seller to find out when he thinks it's going to drop, and he doesn't know. And so I'm just kind of left just having to be patient and wait for it. And I've got everything I need for it when it gets here. I'm looking forward to shooting it. So that's it for me. Thank you so much. Vlog number 5, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.